Hello, welcome to another identity management video. This is the fourth in a series where we're building up to the custom membership and showing you the benefits that new functionality in the latest hotfix brings. In the previous videos we've created a new door control resource type, we've created some search scope and nav bars, we've created the permissions so that the administrators can create and delete these new objects. But we noticed that the RCDCs were a little bit basic and not very user friendly. So what we're going to do in this video is we're going to create some user friendly RCDCs, and let's get started with that now. So on the home page, under the administration tab, we've got the resource display configurations, and this will load them all up. And we're just going to create 3 new ones first, just so we can download the base template that we're going to modify to give us our nice user RCDCs. Now, with these RCDCs, it's always good to try and have as many of the attributes that you want on the object done in advance. Because you have these options to download the default templates. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to download them all into my development folder. So I'm going to create a new folder called Door Control. And we'll save this one as the create. And we'll get the edit one while we're here. And we'll save as edit. And then we'll get the default view mode one as well, and we'll save as. There we go. So this is the creation one, so we'll tick the create, and then we'll click finish. Door control create open. There we go, and I'll click finish. So you need to download the template and then upload it again before it'll let you save it. So we'll now click submit, and that's our default creation. So we'll now do it again, and this time we'll do the configuration for door control editing. So we'll select our door control, we'll browse to the folder to get the edit one, select edit there, click finish and submit, and we'll now do the viewing one as well. Click finish and submit. And now that's created our 3 door control resources, RCDCs. And what we'll do is we'll just quickly do an IS reset, because I just want to show you what those default RCDCs look like. Unfortunately, they're not that exciting, because they do just look like the ones we saw, the ones that get built by a standard. But I think it's useful just to see them now before we start editing them, and then see them once we've made the changes and got them to be a bit more user friendly. So we'll just wait for the page to reload. We'll clear those downloads, and we'll click new, and we can sort of see straight away that actually it doesn't look like anything's changed at all, and that's because it hasn't. Those default templates are the default that gets loaded. So we're going to Visual Studio now. We've got my code here, we've got some rule extensions, some provisioning code, we've got some RCDCs down here. So we're just going to create a new folder, and we'll call this 20.door control, and then we'll right click and we'll add some existing items, and then we'll go to those RCDCs, door control, and we'll just load those 3 files. And so what we can do now is we can now open the create configuration. It doesn't look too great. It's a single line. It's not going to be the easiest thing to tweak and edit, but if we press and hold Control down and then press K and D, it will format it into a much more nicer way for us to manage. The first thing we're going to do is just get rid of the X in front of the create and the door control, just to make that a little bit nicer. And now we're going to start tweaking some of the RCDCs. So we don't need the created time one. We don't need the creator. We do need the description, so we'll leave that in there. We don't need detected rule lists. We do need display name, and we'll just move that to above description. We don't need the expected results, expected rules list. We don't need expiration time. We don't need the locale. We don't need the metaverse object ID. We don't need the resource time or the object type. What we do want to do is we want to find the room control one, and we're going to take that out of the extended attributes and move this onto our main page, and we're going to put it in between the description and the display name. And right, let me find where I want to be. So extended attributes, what we want to do here is have the filter. So what I'm going to quickly do is just copy across some code that I've got pre-copied, and we're going to delete that and paste it with that. So what I've just copied and pasted in there is we've added a filter, which is a complex filter. We're telling the users to select use this filter to select users who require this course. We're going to change that to room, and we've now got a filter path, and we've just got the attributes for that filter path. We've now got the grouping for the manually managed page, which is currently shown as an error. So we're going to try and figure out why that's shown in there in a second. So let's have a look. We'll Control KD just to sort of format it a bit nicer again. We'll go back to the top, and we'll go and close the common attributes grouping, and we'll close the grouper for that. And the reason why it's shown as an error is because I've actually copied and pasted not quite enough of the code in. So there we go. We copied the manually managed rest of it in now, and that's made it much happier. So that's now got our create door control resource, and that's fairly happy. And what we're going to do is we're going to copy and paste this, and we're just going to overwrite the edit one, remembering to update the title for the edit one to edit, and we're going to do the same for the view one. So we're now going to save all of these, and we'll go back to the portal and go back to our resource control display configuration. We're going to select creation. We're now going to browse. We're now going to select it again. We're going to click open, click OK, and submit it to save those changes. We'll do the same with editing. We'll browse, select the edit one, click open, click OK, submit. We'll select the door viewing one, again select that, and we'll select OK and hit submit. Now what we need to do is the IS reset for the changes to take effect. If you think editing these RCDCs in this sort of XML format is quite difficult and challenging, as you saw, I didn't quite copy and paste it across, and I got a sort of a syntax error. It is better to be editing it in sort of Visual Studio environment rather than Notepad or just directly in the portal, because you do get a sort of oops, something's wrong, and it sort of helps you spot it straight away. I also quite like having them in Visual Studio because when they're in a part of a source control solution, you can track the changes you've made. But there are other applications, products out there that give you sort of a nice graphical user interface for modifying these, for modifying the RCDCs, and they can be quite nice to have available. because it just makes it a little bit quicker to get the development done. So we'll just refresh the page now. Once the page finishes refreshing, we'll click New, and we'll hopefully see that our new RCDC has taken effect. So there we go, we've got our display name. So we're going to create the server room, and server control server room, and server room for IT staff. And we've now got the filter, so we can now create a filter if we wanted to, or we can do manually managed membership, so we can sort of pick the users that we want in our system. So let's click finish and submit, and that's now created our new door control room. We can edit it, and again we can see the filter, because I didn't actually set a filter, has defaulted to all users. So we've actually got 10 people in this one. If I want to limit it a bit more, I can change it. Click the membership preview, click OK and submit, and I can now view it as well. And we can see those changes taking effect. So hopefully you've enjoyed this video. We've done some RCDC work to make the user experience in the portal a bit nicer and a bit more pleasant. Got rid of some of the attributes they didn't need to worry about. In the next video, we're going to look at getting the sync engine in a state where it can start importing these objects and syncing them and doing stuff with them. If you have any questions about RCDCs or anything at all, just drop them in the comments or send me a tweet on Twitter. Thank you for watching, and hopefully see you for the next one.